When news breaks that a major world power is publicly demanding the release of a foreign head of state from another global power's custody, you know something important is shifting beneath the surface. Russia's direct statement urging the United States to release Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and his wife is not just diplomatic noise. It is a carefully calibrated move, and it demands our attention. It is not a moment for panic, but for awareness, for recognizing that we are witnessing the kind of event that adds weight to an already delicate geopolitical balance. Maduro, a controversial figure by any measure, has long been a thorn in Washington's side and an ally to Moscow. That much is known. But this latest development, where Russia claims he is in the custody of the United States and openly calls for his release, marks a new chapter. This is not about ideology anymore. This is about sovereignty, precedent, and leverage. The timing is not accidental. With tensions between the West and Russia already high due to a myriad of ongoing disputes, and with Latin America's political equilibrium wobbling from left to right and back again, this incident strikes a chord that resonates far beyond Caracas or Washington. It forces questions about international norms, about the strength and limits of alliances, and about what really governs the interactions between nations when the headlines fade. This is not a story of Maduro alone. It is part of a broader canvas. One where great powers test each other, where influence is asserted not just with weapons or treaties, but with signals, narratives, and bold diplomatic assertions. It is
Shalom, call halal, Yahweh, Shem Yehoshua, Shem Makadash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutation of the brothers out pushing the word, truth and its sincerity. I am the brother / elder, Yashuan. Quickly, look at this. Russia seizes U.S. oil tankers 4 hours ago. Let's look at this real quick and see if there's any legitimacy.
Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the rule...
Because that means, okay, yeah. Salakia, I didn't know if that was a commercial or not, so let's do that again.
Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the rules of global trade no longer apply. Oil tankers are missing, sea lanes have turned into battlegrounds, and the world's most powerful superpower is doing nothing but issuing carefully worded statements. This is not a movie. This is not a drill. This is one of the most dangerous geopolitical moments of the 21st century. Russia has just crossed a line that hadn't been crossed since the darkest days of the Cold War. The shocking event. In a single, coordinated operation, Russia has forcibly seized American-linked oil and liquefied natural gas tankers across multiple oceans, from the turbulent Black Sea to the frozen approaches of the Baltic and deep into the icy expanse of the Arctic. This was not a routine inspection. This was not an accident. It was a military-grade operation.
See where this thing is going? Okay. Now, all of this is happening within hours of each other. Nobody's talking about this. Okay, Trump is over there beating his chest about a stand down, which I call that, they were talking about Chinooks, Chinook gunships. All right, you know what a shit hook is, you already know. Okay, no such thing as a shit hook with a gun on it that's taking out anti-aircraft S-400. The Chinook gunship took out the S-400. That's backwards. You understand? And Vlad and them, who are in the middle of a real war, are laughing at those headlines. Now it's big bank take little bank. Oh, you want to play games and make up stories while those dudes are over there fucking in full-blown combat. That's escalating with longer-range missiles. They're actually firing upon each other, speaking from a real war, and these guys are over here cosplaying. Let's get that real quick. Salakia. And have remained in their hole. They didn't do nothing. Remained, Salakia, in their holes, T-H-E-I-R, holes. Okay? They didn't even do shit. There's no such thing as a shit hook gun attack helicopter. It's a carrier, it carries personnel and big shit. A Chinook. Okay? There's no gun on it taking down anti-aircraft. But that's what they're saying happened. And anybody that understands what a shit hook is, they're like this, that didn't happen. All right? Something else happened. This is a story that we're being told by somebody who says 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians, we have to get that. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Okay, Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51 and 30. Salaki for talking too much. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. What does that mean? They didn't even get out of the bunker. They didn't get out of the foxhole. They stayed in their barracks. Their courage is gone. They didn't do nothing, but they were talking about how Spartan the Delta Force was when they went. The elder Ayash in Mississippi, he said, "Oh, I thought they was on some movie type shit. I thought that they, fucking took a whole bunch of shit down, shot their way in, and blasted and set the C4. Nigga set the charges, blew the door down, right? And came in and apprehended, captured." No, here's what happened. They stayed. They made up a story. They have become like women, right? The invaders have burned the houses and broken down the city gates. Her dwellings are set on fire. Her bars are. Babylon doesn't set themselves up, right? There's real wars going on. Iran had real missiles, right? And real drones from the backs of little trucks and shit, because there was a real combat situation. And Trump is over here without a shot being fired. Really? Okay, so the point being, there's a meat grinder going on. And I don't see, and there's American soldiers over there coming back in body bag that they're being quiet about. But when does the real fighting start? Anyway, you have to understand the role that oil plays in World War, let's just say II, okay, and Pearl Harbor, if you understand.
12 massive energy vessels, over $3 billion in ship value, nearly $800 million worth of cargo, more than 40 Russian surface ships, air support overhead, submarines reportedly positioned below. The message was unmistakable. No one interferes. Global panic within hours. The White House went into emergency mode. NATO convened crisis meetings. Energy markets erupted into chaos. Oil prices spiked vertically. Shipping insurance premiums exploded. Several key maritime routes became effectively uninsurable overnight. This wasn't just a dispute between Russia and the United States. This was a systemic shock to the global economy of impulsiveness.
Let me make sure that this is okay. Russia's just crossed the line. Okay. This isn't simply about seized oil tankers or rising energy. Is this before or after what we're looking at? Okay. In this documentary style analysis, okay, so this has nothing to do with what happened yesterday. 1 hour. I suspect this is an AI. Please always double check these stories. Imagine AI. Okay, so that's good. But what he's saying, fairness breeds peace and prosperity, good, no more rule. Let's see. Flirting with World War III, U.S. started all this oil looting, not Russia. AR is getting harder to detect. Nobody will know what news is truth. That's good right there. Okay. George Will live. Okay, so did they seize oil tankers? That's a good one. Let's type that in. Russia seizes tankers. Did I spell seizes right? 2 days. Russia to U.S. in chase of oil tanker. This is Mersheimer here. So this is a credible source. Let's see. It says Russia officially intervenes in U.S. chase of Venezuela oil tanker. Ukraine war spills over. Okay, so, okay, you see this? This might be true. Look at this. Okay, this is George Will. Is this the same thing? 23 hours ago, red line crossed. Russia captures U.S. oil fleet, global crisis. Salakia, bear with me. Okay, Russia wants U.S. to stop chasing Iran oil tanker. Russia warns U.S. See, there, it looks like somebody's running a disinformation campaign right next to whatever else is going on because there's just too much in every direction. Russia warns U.S. to stop tanker chase. What is that? There's a chase. Pursued oil tanker crew paints Russian flag on. Oh, shit's just spiraling out of control here. Okay, now, let me get this real quick because I'm just kind of going in the spirit. So let's get this real quick because here's what I see happening right now. This is Matthew 24 and 4 because why am I getting it? Because you just see everything right now, right? And here's what I just learned because I was a little excited. I'm like, oh, okay, this nigga. So we got to check up on everything, right? Especially now, Matthew 24 and 4, and Yahweh Shai said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. So you got to go back, check and double check some shit. Might be AI. So all of this is in the spirit. That's what came out right now. Check and double check some shit because could be AI on there. So go back here. Now, stop chasing oil tanks. There's some sort of chase going on, unless they're making that up. U.S. pursued oil, that's the chase. Okay. They've been doing that. Sanctioned tanker. Down, I don't know what that is. Look at this. Maduro ally fires ballistic missiles near U.S. allies hosting American troops after Venezuela up. What is that? That's rumors of war. Can't believe anything that comes out of Venezuela right now. 40 troops killed in action against Maduro. They said nobody went down. Let me see. Russia's shadow fleet. Okay. Chase to run. So, okay, bear with me. I'm trying to make heads or tails of what's going on. Now we're back to 3 weeks. Now we're at a month. 3 weeks. No. No. Not looking for that. I'm looking for right now. Okay, this is George Will saying that shit, right? He's the only one saying that. Who else? Understand, understood. Okay, so I don't see. What are the Russian seizes tankers? I don't see that. I saw Mearsheimer. Russia crossed a red line 2 days ago. U.S. oil tanker seized and coordinated. Okay, so this could lead some credence because I'm going to believe what he says.
Look at this. Seriously, look. If this came out earlier,
And if
plumbers
it's
would
true,
be out of business.
If
No
what
matter which.
If what Mearsheimer says.
Scale of the action is staggering. 12 vessels,
Ooh.
operated by American energy companies and
Ooh.
sailing under Allied flags, were taken into Russian custody in a single day.
Oh
The ships
shit, it's real. Okay, so this means if it's this hard to find in real time, and it's real, that means they're hiding the shit out of it. So how many days ago? 2 days ago. Okay, so this is immediately. Okay, so this is immediate. Okay, when did this happen? Did this happen simultaneous to the so-called attack in Venezuela? That's the question. Let's look down here. Tit for tat, okay. Stroke of genius, logical thinking. USA crossed too many lines. Russia is reciprocating. So it was afterward. If America can seize Venezuelan oil tankers in international waters, okay, is that what that is? Russia crossed the red line. Well done. This is 2 days ago. Bravo, Russia. Let's see what he says. Because if this is in response to taking ships, is this in response to taking oil tankers, or is this in response to what happened in Venezuela proper, which happened right at about this same time? We got to figure that out. Slovakia.
themselves are valued at more than $3 billion, while the energy cargo on board is estimated at nearly $800 million. This was not a routine maritime inspection or an isolated incident. The operation involved more than 40 Russian surface vessels, air support, and the reported deployment of submarines to deter any external interference. Within hours, the White House issued emergency statements. NATO convened crisis meetings, and energy markets reacted violently, with prices spiking amid fears of wider disruption. To the public, this looks like a sudden and reckless escalation, but that surface narrative hides a far deeper and more calculated strategy. What Russia has done is not random, and it is not impulsive. It is the culmination of a long chain of actions, provocations, and strategic adjustments that have been building quietly for years, largely ignored or underreported in Western media. Moscow is not merely flexing military muscle. It is signaling a fundamental shift in how it intends to confront Western pressure, moving beyond passive endurance of sanctions toward active economic countermeasures. The most unsettling aspect of this moment is not the immediate financial loss or the diplomatic fallout, but the precedent it sets. Russia is asserting that under certain legal and security justifications, it can seize strategic commercial assets of a rival power even in contested or international waters. If this logic takes hold, it does not stop with Russia and the United States. It opens the door for similar actions elsewhere, from the South China Sea to the Persian Gulf.
Let's stop right there. And there it is. Here's what we see happen. The U.S. hegemony is gone. That's what this is about. So now they're putting on airs and doing reality TV on you, right? As they scramble to maintain the facade, I guess, because if Russia went in and did this, right, then they're controlling basically the waters, right? And this is not being pushed. So think about that. This is what has happened. I don't even know. I can't tell whether this is post or pre-attack 2 days ago. Oh, let's see. See, this is about shipping. This isn't about an attack. See? This is about tit for tat on taking oil ships. So lucky I just ate some taco. So, you know what? We got to sit back and watch. But could this have caused what we see in Venezuela? This is why we have to find out whether this happened before or after the attack. Is this a result of the attack, or did the attack come as a result of this? Of what? U.S. oil tankers. He told you how much money they seized in assets. Okay, so that's significant. All right, so this needs to be taken into consideration. All right, nobody's talking about this, and to find it and corroborate it was almost impossible. This guy saying it, George Will, I was about to call him a liar. And these are the only things that came up under Russia seizes tankers. Let's put oil. Now what comes up? Okay. No, that's the chase. So the chase is something different. Looks like they're using that to obscure what happened. Crosses line. Okay, that's Mearsheimer. We just watched that. And this is the chase that they're obscuring. So the chase, whatever this chase is of a Venezuelan tanker, is being used to hide the big old move that right? That Vlad did here. Because, okay, so this is all we're getting. All we're getting is Mearsheimer, right? Who's telling the whole story, and I trust him. Okay? And then Chase. This is part of the chase, Venezuela. Let's see. Russia captures U.S. fleet. George Will, that guy. Those are the two people that are saying something, and then nothing. Okay? Putin breaks Trump's Venezuela siege. Oil tanker flee U.S. Coast Guard. Flies Russian flag. That's the chase. Putin tells Trump to back off chase. Putin dials Maduro as seized Venezuela oil tanker heads to U.S. port. What? 3 weeks. That's a long way back. 3 weeks, a long way back. 5. Russia seizes. That's George Will. So nobody. This is the chase being pursued. So the chase is to cover what Mearsheimer and George Will are reporting on. See? What chase? Fuck a chase. What the fuck is that? That's 3 weeks. That's the chase is a distraction. That's the chase. 3 months, 1 month. So that's news, US. Okay, that's the chase. 13 days ago. Whether that's the chase or not. That's the theft. Okay, so yeah. Under protection. AI. That's not AI. Mearsheimer isn't. It looks like Mearsheimer is reading the same thing. Was he reading the same thing from George Will? But just for his face to be on there. And that looks like his, look at that. 43,000 views 2 days ago. Where's this at? In the headlines. There's 2 things. We see this chase, which goes back to Venezuela. What is this? This guy went and snatched up and claimed all the oil in the eastern seaboard. I don't even know what the fuck that means. You understand? Anyway, things are all over the place, right? How do we know? We're at the end. All right. Uproars. This would qualify as uproars of the people. What is this dude doing? Let's get this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and close. As you can see, we're off to a fantastic start, and things are speeding up. I'll just say that as I get this in the GNT. Got to keep this handy because these dudes are out of control, man. There, look at this. This dude is talking about how he done went in. These niggas are pinning medals on each other right now, okay? And scared to come out and fight. Here it is. You stirring up a hornet's nest. The Most High is stirring up Vlad, who's over there fighting a real war in fatigues. 2nd Ezra 9:3 in the GNT, and that's all on Marine. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what the Most High Power has spoken about since the beginning of creation. All right, so anyway, we'll continue to watch because it's just, it's going to get better by the day. Things are moving so quick. We'll be looking at the hour of temptation between now and I'd say 8 months by August. The way they're about to start pushing this thing. With that, we hope that the electorate edifies your brothers and sisters. Shalom.